Hey guys, this is Eddie from Gold River Reptile. I am doing this video of a clutch that just hatched, and unfortunately it wasn't a great clutch in terms of the number of eggs. What happened was this female, Ella, she was produced by Jason Stevens and Ryan Burke. She's an RFAC outcross, amazing animal. I've had her since she was a neonate, and she's just awesome. She laid a clutch of eggs while my family and I were out of town for a few weeks. So I didn't expect it. My timing was off. I think what happened was I thought that she was developing follicles, but actually she was ovulating. So she laid her clutch of eggs about 5 or 6 days before we got home. And this is the male, Dupree, my stud male. He's back there, he's a calico outcross. And she laid the eggs, and she just laid them on the floor of the cage, which you can see I use puppy pads for the caging. Actually, I've switched recently to this rolls of this paper. Thank you, Jason Stevens, by the way, for that suggestion. And those are working out nicely. But for now, until I've run out of these things, I'm going to use up the puppy pads. So she laid the eggs on the floor of the cage, and about 24 hours later, she abandoned them and just went back up to her perch. So they were just sitting on the floor of the cage. There were 13 eggs. 3 of them were bad right off the bat, and I put the other 10 into my incubator. So the incubator had 10 eggs, and they started to go bad, and it was like 1 or 2 here, 1 or 2 there. Before you know it, I've got, I was down to 3 eggs by the time they were due to hatch. And they started to pip last week on Wednesday, which was the day that I expected them to pip. And 1 came out, then another 1 pipped, but didn't come out of the egg. And after about a day of waiting, the 3rd one, which I felt like was really light, I was a little worried about it, hadn't pipped yet, so I cut it, and there was an animal in there. And then that guy came out and looks amazing. Took a long time. It took like 3 days for him to come out, him or her. But the 3rd one, the one who pipped, just didn't come out of the egg. And so I started to kind of cut the egg, and I was worried that he was kind of drowning in there or something. And he was in there, but just wouldn't put his head out. And I left him there, and after 6 days, just now, a few minutes ago, I checked again, and he still hadn't moved. So I took the egg out, and I kind of pulled him out of there, and it was obvious that he had died. So I'm not sure when that happened, but and I don't know why it happened. But they're all really small, these babies. They're very tiny, and they're probably a little weak. I'm really not sure. They pipped on their own, 2 of them. So I don't know that they're premature. I don't know that. I just really don't know. This is kind of a weird clutch because I didn't get it right from the female when it was laid, and get it right into the incubator. And so there's some weird conditions with this one that makes me feel like I don't know how to interpret what happened with it, because the scenario was just different than I'm used to. So and also I'm using a new incubator. It's not a new incubator, but for me it's new. I got it from somebody last year, and I haven't used it. This is the first time I've used it. It is a Nature Spirit incubator. It's got lots of space, which is great for egg boxes. But the temperature was hard to maintain for me. It kind of, within a tenth of a degree, it kind of bounces up and down. So I actually have it, right now I have it set for 87.8. And you can see right there, it just went from 87.4 to 87.5, and it'll go back down to 87.4, and then it'll go back up. And sometimes I have to put it down to 87.7 because it goes up to 87.6. So it's a little weird, this one. I'm not sure if it's my probe placement. You can see my probe is right there because that's where the hole for the probe is. And and that's the shelf that I keep the tubs on, the egg boxes. So, I'm just not sure what's going on with that, but we'll see. Time will tell.